And the green is about to come out with Kanan, Castroneves, and Giafoni leading them to the green, Paul.
The restart order is straight up. Kanan leads them to the green. We're going to be commercial free to the end of the run here. Kenny Brack on the move. Down to the inside, Unser Jr. Wonder how bad Tony Kanaan wanted to drive in racing like this. He made a deal with a race shop owner once, a garage owner, to lock him in the shop every night so he'd have a free place to sleep. "66 laps since Kanan has stopped for fuel. For second place, Castroneves, and in fact, Giafoni, Unser Jr., and Brackett's only been 56. There are 24 to go. Scott, are you thinking it's close?
Well, you know, he's a guy right now, looks like he's using all the fuel that's available to him. When we say that, Paul, 100% on your fuel trim inside your dash of a race car means you're making maximum horsepower. And the way that Tony Kanaan is going right now, pulling a little bit of a stretch over Helio Castroneves, I'd have to say that he's got no fuel economy run in sight.
On board with Sharp. Firestone telemetry. Tire temperature is still coming up.
Yeah, you can see it right there. It's in the yellow, Paul. That little red arrow is still in the yellow. He's waiting for the tire pressures to build inside the tires, the heat in the tires to raise. Up to around 200 degrees Fahrenheit these tires run to give him maximum grip with those tires. He'll need a couple more laps. As you can see, the arrow just starting to creep towards the green.
That's Scott Sharp. We're looking back at him from Jacques Lazier. And back to the front of the field. Scott, you've won this race. If you were in the situation Kanan was in, would you really want to pull that much of a lead?
Well, you know, once you get a bit of a lead like he has right now, he's moving his fuel trim from 100% maybe back to 98 or 96. It usually goes down in 2% increments. And then he'll sort of monitor from his board that's on the front stretch. The board man's there, and every time you go past, you'll see a sign that will say plus 0.5 or plus 0.7. He can monitor how far he's ahead of the second place driver, Castroneves. So you'll continue to do that. If he starts to build up a little bit of a cushion, he can maybe throttle back a little bit further on the fuel trim. And there again, you don't have to run full throttle also. There's many little tricks that you can play. And right now, he's probably using all of them just to conserve a little bit more fuel.
You remember Marlboro Team Penske split the strategy, brought Jill Deferron in. And now he's back in 7th place and beginning to work on Kenny Brack. That's Michael Andretti just ahead of Brack, the green and white car. Brack's the pioneer, number 15.
Deferron, you mentioned, Paul, who's right behind him, who looks like he's starting to get a bit of a run right now, coming out of 4. Brack moved to the inside of the track. A nice, clean run. Now, that was set up right back going into turns 3 and 4. And we have to also mention that Deferron right now is running with brand new tires. They also took on fuel, but also put on 4 fresh Firestone Fire Hacks, Paul. And so I think really what's happening right now, he's got more grip, fresher tires. He's going to have a look now at Michael Andretti.
Remember, Michael, car is a little lame. That is to say, it's been involved in contact, and Michael said because of that, it's pushing very badly. But he was going to stay with it to the end of the run. Now the Deferron tried him, but no. At Phoenix International Raceway, the Indy Racing League, Tony Kanaan now with 14 laps to go is the leader of the Pure X style Indy 200. The question is, does he have enough fuel to go? Jill Deferron is working on Michael Andretti, and they touch. They both catch the wall.
Well, Michael had to have known that Jill was looking there. He looked there the previous time, and that was a big collision, Paul.
So Deferron trying to come back through the field. We're looking at the cockpit to see whether or not there's any movement from either driver. As yet, no. And that was a big hit. 10th caution of the day. So going into turn one, Deferron and Andretti battled, and then they touched, and both right up into the wall on the exit of one. And the IRL safety team there immediately. Tony Kanaan, the teammate to Michael Andretti, the pole sitter, that puts him in pretty good shape. Here it is, Scott.
Now you watch. Now Michael didn't expect Gilles to be there so early, but Gilles certainly had a run on him going into the turn. Michael went a little bit high to start to weave the car down towards the turn like he should do. See, a good run by Gilles Deferron. Gilles clearly beside him. Michael should have some information from his spotter to let him know what's going on.
And we're getting ready to go green in what will just be a flat sprint to the finish. And the question is, can Kanan hold off Castroneves? Matter of fact, can he hold off all of those?
That's a pretty stout list, Paul, and certainly Kanan knows it. He knows he cannot make any mistake. His heart is racing right now, that's for sure.
There's the critical moment. Did he get the momentum back the way he wanted to? Looks like he did as the green comes out. Giafoni's going to try Castroneves. Castroneves doesn't move on the start. Being careful. 2 to go. Giafoni tries to swing way wide and pick up second. 1 to go. Tony Kanaan, if he can hang on this lap, looking to be the 30th different driver. Another new winner in the IRL, 30th different to win in the history. Tony Kanaan driving for Andretti Green is the winner at Phoenix International Raceway. Green flag comes out for Kanan. He gets a good restart. Dixon is right there. Then you have 2 cars, 3 cars actually, that are not part of the game. The real focus now comes on Weldon, Barron, and Manning, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
That's where the fight will go on, but right now with Kanan, he's got what he wants. He got a clear track in front of him, probably no traffic he'll run into in the next 7 laps. And right now, Dixon was liking going through the traffic because it gives him opportunity to maybe make a pass.
Castroneves gets way on the high on the track as he tries to get up and get around Brian Herta. They're on the backstretch now.
Last car on the lead lap, but boy, what a great day for Andretti Green Racing. I know they've lost 1 car, but they've got the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th entry. They're all running in the top 10.
Kanan, 0.8 of a second lead, coming up to 5 laps to go.
This is the last portion, guys, where you get down.
It doesn't look at this moment like there's going to be much of a challenge. Kanan just driving away, running 154 miles an hour under the hot desert sun.
And this is the area where you start to tighten your belts in the car, guys, because you're just trying to run clean laps. Right now, Dixon is sort of staying in an even footing. He's got to be able to get close, number 1. It's another thing to pass.
Tony Kanaan has started running in triathlons, and he said, it's helped me as a driver to learn how to spread out and stay focused. He's been focused from the drop of the green flag, and right now all he's got to do is get into the kick and go to the finish.
4 to go. Kanan in front. Then Dixon, Weldon, Barron, Manning. Front 2 right together.
Great run for Barron. He started 17th, don't forget.
Herta and Castroneves continue to hammer at one another. Sharp, he's out of this fight. He's down 3 laps. There's the Iceman lining him up.
But it's one of the boys from Brazil that's leading.
Now watch this right here. Turns 3 and 4, we're just coming through. That's where Dixon seems to work a little bit better in turns.
Oh, Dixon is there. He's closing. What's he got planned as the end game?
Didn't we see this at Homestead with different drivers?
Yeah, but I'm not so sure you can do that here. Watch him prove me different.
Last lap pass by by Sam Hornish on Castroneves.
White flag is out. Just under a mile, about 3/4 of a mile now for Tony Kanaan. Dixon can pedal hard, but he's not going to catch him. Tony Kanaan, final 2 turns in front of him. Looking for his second IRL win and back-to-back wins at Phoenix. He loved this track. It loves him. Tony Kanaan takes the win. Dixon second. What'll happen, though, with Weldon, Barron, and Manning? Here it comes. And it's going to be Weldon, then Barron, then Manning. No change there as well. Wow, a blistering pace. 127.9 miles an hour, new race record. But Tony Kanaan had everybody covered all day long. And look at this as they come back to green once again. The question is, Weldon, Castroneves, what's the game that's going to come there? Tony Kanaan comes down on the inside. Franchitti works up on the high side.
Now you're watching Castroneves right now not being able to get a good start. That's because he's running lean on fuel, because he's trying to conserve fuel. Less fuel in the engine is less horsepower. He does not have the horsepower on the restart to run up front with those guys.
For Dan Weldon, the red and white number 26 car, it's been 58 laps since his last stop. There goes Kanaan down on the inside. Franchitti's with him in second place, and Franchitti's trying to grab that second place. Let's go to Jack.
Well, Paul, as we watch the action as Alex Barron moves into the 3rd position for Dan Weldon, it's a case of conserving fuel. Tony Koppman has made the call that they are going to try and go the distance without fuel, and it is paying a dear price right now. But in the meantime, the big key is who will be able to sustain it to the end. Will it be Tony Kanaan or Dario Franchitti? And don't count out Alex Barron in 3rd.
Oh! Hornish goes way down inside of Weldon. Weldon kind of backpedals on that one.
Clear high.
The Weldon slowing down there. Something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you know Weldon needs to, he's got a right front corner.
Now the gearbox is gone.
Well, there's your answer.
Okay, I copy. Get her on it. Make sure you get her.
Something happened there.
So they say, you heard Dan say the gearbox is gone.
You can't get it, pull right down off the track to the inside into the deep end of the XL lane.
So we've had a couple of interesting problems with gearboxes the entire weekend here. Weldon had a little problem earlier in the week. Kanaan, Franchitti, Barron, Hornish Jr. as they come by Dan Weldon.
Well, the part this part of the race, you know, it's like no more strategy now. Now whoever's in front is going to try to stay in front, and you see Barron there is doing a fantastic job. He started last, in fact, and now he's 3rd.
Yeah, last time we mentioned him, he jumped up 7 positions. Now he's jumped up all the way to 3rd from 22nd. And look at the group behind him. Kanaan, Franchitti, Ray, Hornish, Mira, they're all there.
Well, one thing is quite interesting now. When everybody was trying to save fuel in the middle of the race, they were doing 204, 205 miles an hour, and now Tony's leading the race at 208.6 miles an hour. He's showing he's got the speed to lead this race now.
8 to go. And nothing is really decided.
They're going as hard as they can now.
There's Ray, the 13 car, the blue one, right behind Mira, currently 6th. He needed this run. Mira is going to move high on Hornish.
Well, I tell you, this is really turning out to be quite a good race for Tony. Tony's leading. He's shown he's got a lot of speed now in the lead, and it doesn't look threatened by Franchitti. But then again, you never know if Franchitti is holding back until the last lap or something like that.
Now 6 to go.
Certainly those 2 Honda cars up front seem like they got the legs to run out front by themselves, and we'll have to see if Barron right now, who's very impressive in the Chevrolet, has the opportunity to maybe take a draft off of both of those guys. But as the laps wind down, you're going to have to position yourself. Remember, this racetrack is very typical that it doesn't happen in the last couple of laps, and we're going to see a situation where it's going to come down the last lap, last couple of turns in 3 and 4. Oh man, they're getting real close. Or as we've seen many times, from turns 4 to the start and finish line is where it usually happens.
Oh, look at that. They go 3 wide. Mira, Hornish, Barron.
And Mira, very impressive. He's on the 3rd lane. Let me tell you, it's very difficult there because the track is dirty and the car is sliding all over the place. That was impressive stuff.
Ray gets in under Mira. 4 laps to go now.
Now what these guys got to do in this second group that we see right there, they got to get in single file line, start to catch up to both Kanaan and Franchitti that are up ahead if they're going to have a shot at getting involved in the drafting battle for the win. They stretched out a lead right now, as you can see.
Doesn't look like they're doing a very good job in staying single file.
Kanaan and Franchitti, teammates at the front. 3 to go. Hornish gets it way down under the white line.
Outside, 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 outside.
Well, I think barring disaster, I mean, this race really looks like it's going to be decided between Franchitti and Tony, and then a 3rd place fight there between these 4 cars that you're seeing.
Yeah, we may know the names. Helio Castroneves pulls off the course. He is out.
He might be out of fuel.
Absolutely, 69 laps since the last fuel
Long
stop.
way.
Even with yellows, that one doesn't work.
It all comes down to this moment. The white flag comes out at the start-finish line. Just 1 to go. Teammates Kanaan, Franchitti. The move will have to come heading into 3. About 40 feet separate those 2 cars. Franchitti decides to pull a little high. Is he trying to aggravate any conditions on Kanaan's car? He's setting himself for the finish now. Tony Kanaan makes that final turn. Heads for the finish line. Franchitti, it doesn't have the power to get there. It's Kanaan, then Franchitti, then Alex Barron, Sam Hornish Jr., Adrian Fernandez. That's your top 5, and Tony Kanaan scores his 3rd career win and 2nd of the season. And with that, Tony Kanaan will take the IRL IndyCar Series points lead.
Guys, Danny Weldon's great to have a teammate there, but Tony Kanaan pulled up behind him and pulled high and pulled low and looked at Dan Weldon's car to give Danny a report on the race car. And also the spotter looked at the front of the car, Kanaan looked at the back, and Dan Weldon said the car is feeling pretty good.
And now Tony Kanaan, as the green comes out, is taking a hard look at Weldon. Looks to the outside. Hornish starts in behind Weldon and then comes out around Kanaan.
And what a bold move by Bell, right down on the lower lip of the track.
And he stays down there too. Danny gets torched way high. Now Castroneves is looking. Look at Mira. He's in the middle of all this too.
And Bell got caught on that because he had to turn around and get out of the throttle because of Weldon.
Jackaroot.
Paul, there's a problem with Vitor Mira's car. It seems to be stuck in 4th gear. Not a gearbox problem, they say, as much as the gear lever itself. The lever won't move at all. So this is a tough break for Mira, the teammate to Buddy Rice.
And Jack, they think Danny Weldon may have a flat right rear tire. He just said, I think the right rear is going down, so they're getting ready in the pits to possibly bring him on pit road.
Oh, look at it. The right rear just totally went away. And remember how long they'd been out on that. No yellow. Now they bring out the yellow flag. So that gamble just wasn't worth it.
Tried to run the tire when it was soft with no air pressure in it, and it actually loses the carcass right completely from the rim.
Well, and he totally, I mean, he was skating on that tire, so he gave that tire more abuse when he got in and alongside Rice.
You know, amazing when you think about that. That's all happening just around 200 miles an hour.
Ready to go, green flag racing once again.
Castroneves did a smart move, had the momentum to go around Manning as soon as they called the green.
And maybe enough to go around his teammate, Sam Hornish. Kanaan goes way wide on the entry.
I really expected Hornish to get a better restart.
They will not catch you.
There's a way to give a guy confidence. Don't worry, they won't catch you.
Well, right now they know they have the car, they have the power plant. Clear track ahead, probably shouldn't see much traffic for at least maybe to lap 195. I say that, and there's a car just up in front.
Well, that's Dan Weldon, who, remember, with his shredded tire and everything, had to come in, effect a little repair to the right rear bodywork on the car.
And Hornish looks like he's getting stronger. Once the race is continuing here for the next couple of laps, watch for him to make a move.
And so what about that? They're not going to catch him. Hornish has caught him.
Well, the key thing now, if they have to go past Weldon, will Weldon let Kanaan by easily and then hold up the 2 Toyota power cars, those red and white cars of Team Penske?
Only 10 laps to go now. So can Dan Weldon get in a position to help his teammate Tony Kanaan?
Well, he could do, but I can assure you that Brian Barnhart, the chief steward that watches up top here, will be watching to make sure none of that happens.
Not much gets past Barnhart. Tony Kanaan continues to try to hold off Sam Hornish and Elio Castroneves.
Paul, everybody's standing up here. 50,000 people this grandstand holds, and these guys are all standing up right now.
Darren Manning is also closing in from 4th place. Last time around, though, it was Buddy Rice, now 6th, that turned the fastest lap at 197 miles an hour.
There we go. Watch this. Weldon on the right-hand side completely gets out of the way for everybody. Great sportsmanship there. He's not going to affect the outcome of this race, even though his teammate's leading.
If you've tuned in for the great outdoor games presented by Dodge, they'll be coming up right after our coverage here. Stay with it, though. We're working on a great finish in the INDYCAR series.
And Paul, you talk about a great finish. How many times has the race been won? Right from turn 4 to the finish line. The key thing I'm going to watch for here right now is that if Hornish can get beside Kanaan, wait for his teammate Castroneves to get in behind Hornish to help push him along, to maybe give him that little oomph that he needs to lead at the line.
2 weeks ago, the IRL IndyCar Series had the second closest finish in its history, about 4 inches. Buddy Rice over Mira.
Kim Green on the radio to Tony Kanaan, telling him 5 to go.
+1 and Hornish.
He doesn't need that time interval, Paul. I'm telling you, you can feel it. You don't even need to look in the mirrors.
Last thing I want in the mirrors is Sam Hornish, especially a hungry Sam Hornish. 4 to go. You heard the call.
This is where you see in your mirrors the object is closer than it appears. That's what Tony Kanaan's seeing now.
Yeah, that object is way too close. Kanaan leads them onto the backstretch. Now they do have clear course in front of them. Top 4 are all together.
196 miles an hour. These guys are running. They're flat out, no lifting.
Cross the line again. 3 laps to go. 197th complete. It's anybody's guess still. Kanaan, Hornish, Castroneves, and Darren Manning.
Now, Kanaan doesn't look like he gets off at turn 2 as well.
Hornish is looking pretty good off of 2. Don't let him get underneath of you. He's also pretty good going into 3.
Yeah, we hit it right now. Kanaan's running a little bit high on the exit of 2. Enters in high into 1, and they can already spot it. The spotters told him, and that's where Hornish is getting his run.
That's where the spotters help as well. On the backstretch, it'll be white flag out next time by for Tony Kanaan. Hornish is right there.
1 to go. Bring it on, mate.
1 to go now. Tony Kanaan. If Hornish is going to make a move, it will have to be at the end of this long backstretch.
Watch for him to slice underneath, and
he
Kanaan
moves to the high side, drops back in. Now Hornish going to try down to the inside.
What some blocking going on by Tony Kanaan.
And Tony Kanaan keeps him back, finishes ahead of Hornish, Castroneves, and Manning. Townsend Bell in 5th place. Buddy Rice manages 6th. Vitor Mira in 12th. Back at the California Speedway. Now we've frozen what we believe to be the way that they are determining how the cars are lined up right now, Scott.
Well, the car on your left-hand side just over here is Tony Kanaan, and the timeline is somewhere in this area here. So right now, I would have to say that that's probably what they're looking at. You know, we are aware that the green light is still flashing, but you remember there's 3 different systems going on here. We'll have to watch to see if the light actually goes to yellow, but they have a much further advanced system than we do right now, and you can see the accident has just happened behind us. So there's a timing factor there, and the IRO went back and looked at it and really came to the conclusion that Tony Kanaan was still the leader at that time.
The pace is going to pick up, though, because we're hoping for a restart and a run 1 lap to the finish.
It is a restart. I think they're definitely going to go for the restart here, and that's the race decider, 1 lap.
Here we go.
Good start by Tony here, but here comes Fernandez.
Watch, Tony's going high. He's going to push him up high in the racetrack. Look how close they got, and that's almost 200.
They went 3 wide, then almost 4 wide behind the leaders. They come nose to nose down the backstretch. Fernandez high. Kanaan is on the low side. Buddy Rice comes around Sam Hornish and goes for 3rd place. Dan Weldon's down on the low side of Hornish. The battle is for the lead, though. Tony Kanaan now has just a few inches on Fernandez. They make a turn for the line. They're still side by side. Fernandez just a bit ahead. And Fernandez takes the win. 3rd win this season. And Tony Kanaan takes the championship. Dan Weldon was able to push his way up into 3rd place on that 1-lap run. Wow. Yeah, you bet. Tony Kanaan, the 11 car, would like to win, and also a mechanically perfect season. Green flag is out.
I gotta tell you that Helio Castroneves played that great.
He figured it out.
Danny Weldon was just a little bit asleep, guys, because that's going to be a hard deficit to make up. The key thing now, Kanaan and Weldon, nose to nose with Mir on the back to be able to catch up to Castroneves.
Oh, it's all in momentum coming back to the green, and Helio Castroneves got it. Can he hang on to it? You ride with Tony Kanaan. He sits in 3rd place. 4th place is Mira. Sharp is back there in 5th. There's the leader. Now Mira closes up on Tony Kanaan. On the final lap at Texas. Onto the backstretch. It's going to be a win for Helio Castroneves unless these 2 guys make something happen here. Kanaan and Weldon go side by side. Helio Castroneves makes the turn for the line. And there it is. Penske wins at the start of the season and at the end. Helio Castroneves, his 6th career win. Kanaan just edges out Weldon at the line.
Great job, Helio. Great job.
So 2 young Brazilians who grew up together now get to share an accomplishment. A win for Helio Castroneves and 3,205 laps for Tony Kanaan. A championship, and the first time in history a driver anywhere in a major series has completed all the laps in one season.
Well, Jerry, I just want to congratulate Tony here and his entire AGR Team 711 crew for doing a great job all year long. I think they've been consistent, they've been fast, and that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is what championship dreams are built on.
Tony, 3,305 laps. No one has ever done that in motorsports history, run every single lap. You did it in a competitive series, the most competitive open wheel series in the world.
For sure. I mean, I need to thank Tony and the whole human family for a great series. We have a great thing going. We're building it up, and people can say whatever you want, but I think we are the best out here. Not my team, but everybody, the league. We work together, and we make this thing happen. So, you know, thanks for my team. They made me run all those 3,000 some more whatever laps we did, and finish every one of them. New record for everybody. So thanks to the sponsors, Honda to give me a great engine, Firestone, almost 3,500 laps with no flats. I mean, it's just unbelievable. 7-Eleven. So I'm just happy. Look at this crowd. Looks like I'm in Brazil.
You got a huge Brazilian flag. Tony, you will get a check for $1 million on a Disney cruise here along with the trophy. But more importantly, 16 years ago, you lost your dad. And your final meeting with him, he told you, son, keep racing and keep winning. He's got to be awfully proud of you today.
For sure, he's somewhere. I mean, he's around, and I just, you know, wherever he is, he's proud of me, and I'm proud to be his son. He made a reasonable race car driver, I would say.
And back in Indianapolis, Indy 500 time trials underway. 3rd car out to make an attempt. Well, reigning series champion taking the green flag, 30-year-old Tony Kanaan from Salvador Bahia, Brazil. He currently lives in Miami, Florida. Trying to qualify for his 38th IRL INDYCAR Series event and his 4th Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, Tony is so consistent. He has to be the odds-on favorite. He's always prepared when he gets in that car, and he's one of the funniest guys, the loosest personalities, always playing jokes. But when he gets in that car, he's all business, and he's very, very consistent.
The numbers you see on the screen, lap 1, the minus means he is quicker than the quickest lap so far, which is Scott Sharp. Will he be the quickest car thus far in qualifying? Lap 1 is complete indeed, 2:27.821. Currently quickest overall of the two that have qualified. Earlier today, Tony Kanaan, 2:28.920 in the morning practice session. That was his quickest lap of the entire month. He was third fastest among the practicers this morning behind Danica Patrick and Dario Franchitti.
Yeah, they're running that car very, very low. You can see it sparking, and that car is very, very neutral. He's not using all the track up at all, and you can see the car slide a lot at the rear, right at the mid corners, and so he's driving that car for all it's worth. But I can guarantee you, he's not lifting.
He drives for Andretti Green. There's Michael Andretti, Mario Andretti, the legendary open-wheel driver, Formula 1 champion, winner here at Indianapolis. As they watch the first of their 4 drivers go out to qualify. Tony Kanaan, yet to win this year. Got his first finish outside the top 10 since Homestead of 2004. Has only led 14 laps. Many people believe after that dominant year of a year ago that he has put his entire focus on coming to Indianapolis and winning his first Indy 500. White flag. The laps are 2:27.771 and 2:27.459.
I think that's a very good point. Tony Kanaan has won everything he's ever done. He's won the championship. He's won races. He's won poles. And I think if you asked him right now, he would probably trade it all for one Indianapolis 500 victory.
And the voice you're hearing is that of 4-time front row starter and 2000 Indy 500 pole sitter Greg Ray. He ran in this race 8 times. In fact, half the times he ran here, Greg Ray started on the front row. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to pole qualifying here at the famed Brickyard. Michael and Mario watch as Tony Kanaan, TK, comes down to become the quickest car thus far in qualifying at 2:27.566 miles per hour. His 4-lap average.
We're talking about Scheckter, we're talking about Kanan, we're talking about Franchitti and Mira. We believe all 4 of those cars have to make, Dave Wilson, their final pit stop.
People were talking that we need to make one more before the end of the race, and Weldon came in for his. So maybe they're going to try to play a wait-and-see game, and maybe they are getting better mileage than they anticipate.
Boy, Danica Patrick, who basically dropped back to mid-pack after the start of this race and essentially ran 10th or 11th for much of the afternoon, suddenly finds herself in 5th place after starting on pole. The question is, can she go the distance without making a final stop, as we think everyone else has to come back in? Of course, keep in mind that Dan Weldon has already made his final stop, and we also see that the six car of Sam Hornish Jr. also on pit lane for his final stop. So let's go to the Marlboro Team Penske pit. Kevin Lee is there.
Sam Hornish Jr. making his final stop. The day started very promisingly, but he stalled in the pits earlier. That took him out of contention. A quick drop of fuel, and he is away, and we'll await the leader, Thomas Scheckter, coming soon.
Okay, Kevin, and you're exactly right. Here's the Pennzoil Platinum car, the Panther Racing Team, about to go to work, Kevin Lee.
He won 1 time in 3+ years. He's looking to make it 2 times in 3 races now. No tire changes, away. And a very quick stop in 4.5 seconds.
How about that? You know, we talked about that, the fact that some teams might gamble. Dario Franchitti is also on pit lane. The 14 of A.J. Foyt IV. The 20 of Ed Carpenter is also in. The 3 of Elio Castroneves also making his way to his pits. Elio Castroneves in the Marlboro Team Penske stall, Kevin Lee.
All kinds of difficulty, too. They lowered the ride height earlier in this race. He will make his stop and take fuel, and they will get away without changing tires, too.
Nicole Mansky and Dario Franchitti beat Elio out.
Well, he just took fuel. You'll gain a lot of time if you just fill up the fuel and don't take any tires.
So we have seen at least a couple of guys take only fuel. Danica Patrick, she cannot go the distance. She is in, Kevin Olson.
Yes, she is. She's hit her marks, and they're right now. They feel there, and she's away.
Looks like she did not take tires, Dave Wilson, and neither did Vitor Mira.
No, and Kanan is still out in first, not taking a pit stop. Darren Manning, look at him in second, and Buddy Rice still not coming in for a pit stop yet. He's running in third.
Scott Dixon is in, so Scott Dixon has made his final stop. As he is in, Tony Kanaan should be in shortly. Meantime, it's great to have Matt Stewart here with us, watching the exciting conclusion of this race. Matt Stewart will get to you in just a moment, of course, from the Indiana Motorsports Development Initiative, as we see Tony Kanaan currently being shown the leader Tony Kanaan set to make the dive into his pit momentarily. Out front, Dan Weldon, Vitor Mira battling in front, and that could be the race for the win here momentarily. We also see the 10 of Darren Manning in, and Tony Kanaan slowly making his way, Nicole Mansky, to his pit stall.
Kanaan looks like he's going to follow the same suit as Dario Franchitti. He's in, hit his box perfectly, and they're just taking fuel. And as you can tell, he is now away.
So about 4 seconds of fuel for Tony Kanaan. So we're watching up front, everyone now cycling through. Buddy Rice is being shown the leader. Buddy Rice, though, has yet to come in. Buddy has not pitted, and neither has Brian Herta. Buddy Rice being shown in first place, Tony Kanaan second. Kanaan has already made, as we just told you, his final stop. Brian Herta is being shown in third place, has not made his final stop. Darren Manning and Dan Weldon. Now Brian Herta is on pit lane, the XM satellite radio car, slowly rolling at 60 miles an hour down to the far end of the pit lane. Nicole Mansky, here comes Herta for his final stop.
Brian Herta has had his share of problems today. Remember, earlier in the day he was complaining of overheating. This time he's just taking fuel. Again, a little bit of smoke coming from the rear end of the car, but he is away.
So Brian Herta has not had a good day here at all. So now with 194 laps complete, everyone with the exception of Buddy Rice has made their final stops here, and Buddy Rice is being shown the leader. So when Buddy Rice comes in, it looks like Dan Weldon will pick up the lead here this afternoon for the final laps. Mark James, we've got 5 laps remaining. Is Buddy Rice going to try to stretch it?
Well, Mike, with the struggles that he's had this year, he's not really in the throes of a points championship, so in that regard, Buddy Rice had nothing to lose by rolling the dice. However, Mike, as we say that, he just jumped onto pit road with 4 laps remaining.
So Buddy Rice perhaps trying to stretch it, but he's not going to be able to do it. Meantime, up front, Dan Weldon is the leader. Vitor Mira runs second. Tony Kanaan runs third. Mark James already off of turn number 2.
And it's turning into an outstanding battle at the exit of turn number 2. There goes Weldon. He's got Vitor Mira to his high side, and the front 3 running by themselves in turn number 3.
Buddy Rice, who was shown the leader last time by, still on pit lane. He is leaving the pit, but he is going to find his opportunity of winning here this afternoon go by the wayside as the 3 lead cars pass him as he exits pit lane. Tony Kanaan going to the outside of Dan Weldon, the battle for the lead off of turn number 2.
He made the pass on Mira near the start-finish line. He's to the high side of Weldon, got a strong run. Fans are pumping their fist as TK grabs the lead to the high side. Weldon comes storming back in the set of a 4.
So here comes Tony Kanaan and Dan Weldon. 197 laps will be complete this time by Vitor Mira, though an interested spectator here as he runs third. Weldon is the leader by 6 10,000ths of a second over Tony Kanaan off of turn number 2.
Another super speedway. Good old Goodwood Druid here at Kansas Motor Speedway here on this sun-soaked afternoon. Kanaan to the high side, Weldon to the low side. Mira lying in wait. They're already in 4.
Vitor Mira finds himself in the exact same position that Tony Kanaan was in 1 year ago as Tony Kanaan watched Vitor Mira and Buddy Rice fight it out. 198 laps are complete. 2 remain. Kanaan is shown as the leader by 15,000ths of a second, Mark James.
If that. They're side by side at the exit of turn number 2. Vitor Mira looks like he might try to force the issue a little bit to the high side. He runs behind TK. Weldon, Kanaan, shadow boxing through 4.
199 laps will be complete this time by the white flag lap of the Argent Mortgage Indy 300. Weldon on the inside. It's Kanaan on the outside. The final lap, they nearly touch it. Turn number 1.
They start to set up for turn number 2. Weldon with a bit of an advantage. TK looking for a run to the high side. Mira going to try to take a peek to the high side. He'll settle back in behind Kanaan. Tony Kanaan has it by just an inch or 2. Weldon comes storming back to the low side. Mike, who's going to win it?
Kanaan, Weldon, and Mira. Mira wants to make it 3 wide. He can't do it. Here he comes to the low side. It's going to be Kanaan. Tony Kanaan on the high side wins as Vitor Mira dives below the white line to make it 3 wide at the stripe. Tony Kanaan by 12,000ths of a second has beaten Dan Weldon and Vitor Mira. What a final move to the checkers made by those 3 drivers, Kanaan, Weldon, and Mira.
So we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing with 16 to go next time by. And again, it is Tony Kanaan, Marco Andretti, Dario Franchitti, all of 3 looking for their first win of 2006. And of course, that man right there is looking for his first win ever in IRL competition. Through 3 and 4. You heard the call.
Watch Hornish, fourth car. Here he goes. He's looking underneath Franchitti. That is for position. We said Sam was moving up. He just moved into third.
I just got ready to comment about it. I didn't think they had a good restart. But as he got off at turn 2, he had so much momentum. He just went right past Dario Franchitti down the back straightaway into third position right now. And off at turn 2, that's where Hornish is the very strongest, guys. He's running Marco Andretti down right now. A lot of momentum off that corner for some reason.
Well, he doesn't want to go to his parade on Wednesday in his hometown of Defiance, Ohio, guys, finishing third or fourth. He wants to be standing on top of the podium.
Jamie, you've got more on Sam?
That's right. Well, on the last yellow, Marco Andretti asked his team about Sam Hornish. The team said, well, Sam used a lot of fuel to get up to you, so don't worry about him. Meanwhile, Roger Penske, the owner of that number 6 car for Sam Hornish, said, Sam, you're doing great. Stay in fuel position 1. There's your answer right there, guys.
He just ate up Marco Andretti and is now setting sail for the race leader. Now, Kanan has opened up a bit of a gap. This is going to take him a few laps.
But also, Kanan will know from his radio transmission right now that they're telling him how strong Sam Hornish is. And Sam is so strong in turns 1 and 2. Everybody seems to be having problems right now, Rusty, getting off of turn 2, one of the tightest places on this racetrack. He seems to be able to carry the momentum without a problem. Now, he's got somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 laps to go. Great information from Roger Penske. Let's not overdo it.
Well, he's definitely not giving up at all, that's for sure. Now, Hornish, the first 3 laps, guys, on this restart was laying some blistering laps out. Example, the leader running 22.80 laps. Sam Hornish running 22.20 laps. Almost 0.6 of a lap faster, but guess what? That's went away right now. Now he's slowing back up. Kanan's outrunning him again.
By about 1/10 of a second on that last lap. You look at Thomas Scheckter, he has moved up to 5th. He has gotten around Brian Herta. So Herta has been bumped back a position.
This number's not only Herta, but also Franchitti that you just saw a moment ago. That was the car that he was going past. So it seems like after the restart, his car is getting stronger, and he's setting his sights right now on the 26 of Marco Andretti.
Tony Kanan's car just keeps getting stronger, Marty. It just keeps, as the green flags run, the long runs, the cars, it just keeps getting better and better.
Boy, and look at Scheckter. Scheckter right on the backside of Marco, and he's underneath him, in fact, and takes the spot. So what was once looking like a sweep for Andretti Green Racing, right now, the only guy left is Tony Kanaan in the top 3.
Boy, is Thomas Scheckter ever standing up on the seat right now. This is so difficult at the end of the race. This is a physical racetrack. They tell him P3 right now. He knows he's in 3rd spot. 217 laps down, 225 is the total number.
He had the fastest race lap of the 3 last time by in the top 3.
This is not turning out how Michael Andretti probably wished. You see him on the left-hand side of your screen, so shaking his head, just sort of wondering why maybe the car is going off from his son Marco.
Well, it's not going off.
If you can just get a soundbite from Michael post-race, we'll be good on this. Thanks.
Nothing wrong with Tony Kanaan right now. His lead is still 2 seconds, not 2 seconds, I should say, about 3.2 seconds over Sam Hornish.
I'll tell you what, it's not over right now, guys. We've got like 6 laps to go, but I tell you, Hornish has been so fast in his restarts. If we do get a caution flag, I'm telling you, Hornish can probably outrun Kanan in that first corner, especially off turn 2. Kanan does not want a caution flag right now because he knows Hornish is very, very quick in these restarts.
Only 5 laps to go at 23 seconds a lap. I think Sam's going to run out of some time here. Tony Kanaan has set sail. He just turns another fast lap. 23 seconds flat at 158 in the closing moments of this race.
Tony Kanaan is outrunning Sam Hornish almost 0.2 of a lap every single lap consistently since about the 4th lap of the restart.
Actually, in Hornish's mirrors right now, we heard Hornish get off the throttle there in that last turn. I think his car's now starting to go away from him just a little bit. Scheckter is filling up Hornish's mirrors. So once you can actually see the guy in front and start to smell his exhaust fumes, Rusty, you know how that is. I said that he was standing up in the seat before. Look how close he's getting now.
Well, definitely right now, Schecter's definitely close enough. Hornish was only 3 laps to go to get around him, and Hornish's car is falling off big time right now, not handling.
Jack, you've got more?
Yeah, Sam Hornish Jr. has developed a severe vibration. And boy, the blood is in the water for car number 2. Thomas Scheckter trying to get that spot, guys.
So now we know what's happened to Sam. The vibration. He has done miraculous, though. Remember, he was 1 lap down back on lap 120, fought his way back to get back on the lead lap, and right now runs second with 2 laps to go. Doc?
And remember, Thomas Scheckter is on used tires. He did not change those Firestones the last pit stop. These tires have gone about 120 laps, and he's still trying to close in on Sam Hornish.
This time by, it'll be the white flag. It's out for Tony Kanaan. 1 mile to go. The last 2 years that they've run this race here, Tony has finished in 4th place both times. Right now, it looks like he is going to finish 3 places better, pick up his first win since Sonoma last year through turns 3 and 4. Here comes career win number 7 for Tony Kanaan at Milwaukee.
Okay, what a great drive, great pit stops, great fuel life. Well done, boys. Great job. Hey, boys, that's for you guys. Just for you. That's why you.
We talk about Tony Kanaan and the fact that he has gotten better fuel economy the entire race, about 4 laps more every cycle than Dan Weldon. We're getting the word that he will pit this time by, which means if they do not take tires, they got less time to have to put in less fuel.
Well, here they go. He's actually on the entrance lane right now. This is where you want to carry as much speed as possible all the way around at 60 miles an hour once you hit the zone of the pit entrance right there. And boy, this seems so slow when you're in such a hurry to get back on the racetrack.
With 10 laps remaining, Jack Arute, the race leader, is coming your way.
Tony Kanaan, for the final time, brings the 7-Eleven in for literally a big gulp, and that is just good. Didn't take much, and he is back up to speed. Exit speed off. Back out on the racetrack will be critical.
So Sam Hornish Jr. now inherits the race lead. He has not stopped, nor has Dario Franchitti. And the question becomes, where does everybody shake out after these pit stops with 8 laps to go? Now, can Hornish make this stretch?
Well, there you go. Remember, he's last pitted on lap 138. Same with Dixon. And Kanaan just came in recently.
The captain, Roger Penske, told Jack Arute he thinks he can do it because they turned the wick back a little bit. And he may just pull this off. 7 laps remaining. He's got a 4.5 second lead over our points leader, Scott Dixon. And Dixon running in 2nd place again for the 3rd race in a row.
It's amazing, but you see, here comes Hornish right now down to the pit lane, you know, and I didn't think that could work out. He was running 194 miles an hour those last couple of laps to try and save fuel.
So the strategy does not pay off for Team Penske. Hornish blinks. That means Scott Dixon will inherit the race lead, and Jack Arute, the number 6, is heading your way.
The gamble falls just a handful of laps short. Being vectored in is Sam Hornish Jr. He had run himself right out of fuel to where they have to use the starter to refire the engine. Nothing is going right. Roger Penske trying to maintain some calm. The car does now fire, but still not enough fuel to keep it going. Oh my, this is a long stop. It finally fires and it's off and away.
Well over 20 seconds. Scott Dixon peels off Jack, and he is pulling into pit lane. So that means Tony Kanaan, who had to take less fuel. Jack, you're there?
And it was a quick stop for Scott Dixon, but Dixon has been, just as I said at the top of the show, just persevering, trying to maintain some consistency. I don't think he's got enough guys to win, but he also right now is in the hunt in the top 3 before that pit stop. In fact, as you know, he was leading. Well, have to wait and see.
Here's the thing that has played and paid dividends. Remember, we talked about the fact that Kanaan got better fuel mileage? He spent less time in the pits that last stop. Guess what? He's got the race lead thanks to that.
You know, and he's doing the exact same speed right now that Dan Weldon is. That's Danny's behind him by just about 1 second, and they're both doing 197.5 miles an hour. Not surprised to see Dixon come in also, because he did pit at lap 138, the same with what Hornish did. So I think they were playing a little bit of poker, those guys, about thinking they could get all the way to the end. They were just gambling that there would be a yellow.
Well, the strategy has paid off so far for Dario Franchitti. He is back up to third place. Remember, he turned the wick back, almost, in fact, did go a lap down at one point when Dan Weldon passed him right before Weldon peeled off for his last stop. But with 2 laps to go this time by, Weldon's got to dig deep if he's going to reel in Tony Kanaan.
Well, as much as he's going to stand up in the seat and have a run at it here right now, Tony Kanaan is a pretty tough customer, knows what he has to do, just keep his foot flat in the floor. And we always say, getting up to behind the car is one thing, but passing is another. You can imagine how wide that car will become for Tony Kanaan if he sees Dan Weldon even getting close.
This time by, it will be the white flag. There it is. Tony Kanaan and Dan Weldon, and Weldon has cut it down to just 0.3 of a second. That's Weldon right behind him. Does he have anything to get around Kanaan? Kanaan finished second here in 2004. He was third last year. Is he going to win it? Weldon is closing quickly. They're through 3 out of 4. Down the stretch, it's going to be Tony Kanaan taking the win for Andretti Green Racing. Dan Weldon in second, and Dario Franchitti will cross the line in third.
214 laps are complete. We'll complete 215 at the line as we go back to green flag racing this time by. 10 remain. It's a good old 10-lap shootout here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Hats off to Elio Castroneves for being so gracious in defeat. Not every driver does that. Not every driver responds that way, but that's what makes Elio a champion. The leader's exiting turn number 4.
Tony Kanaan will be the leader in the Team 711 machine as the green flag flies. 10 laps remain. Sam Hornish Jr. runs second. Weldon is third. TK in front by 3 car lengths as they head to turn number 2.
One thing's for sure, TK doesn't get snookered on the restarts very often. He had a strong one there. Has pulled out to about a 4 car length advantage over Sam Hornish Jr. Sam pedaling for all he can. Then Dario Franchitti as they exit turn number 4.
Dario Franchitti, Davey Hamilton with a great restart as he gets past Dan Weldon.
There's those old tires again. There's Dario with fresh ones, Dan with old ones. I still think Vitor and Dan made a huge mistakes by keeping old tires on, and we'll just see where they end up.
So it looks like Scott Dixon going to try to reel in his teammate as they're already in 3.
Pulls up to about 3 car lengths behind Weldon. Dan's car brushes up a lot higher than Dixon. Dixon taking the short way around the racetrack compared to the line that Dan Weldon has to run on those older tires.
Tony Kanaan just about 0.7 of a second in front of Sam Hornish Jr. and Mark Janes. He's less than 8 laps away from making it 2 in a row here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Hard dive to the white line to the inside of turn number 3 and 4. Actually takes a little bit higher line there. Boy, Sam and Dario really got lower on the racetrack than TK. He doesn't have to worry about traffic. He's taking a cruise right now at the Milwaukee Mile.
A great battle right now for second place. It's going to heat up. 218 of 225 are complete. Here comes Dario Franchitti, less than a car length off the rear wing of Sam Hornish Jr. Mark, they'll go side by side.
Sam made a hard dive to the inside, opened up the top side for Dario, and Franchitti grabs the spot. He has second place, but Mike, his teammate, the leader, Tony Kanaan, has a half a straightaway advantage.
And as we watch Tony Kanaan lead, it looks like Sam Hornish Jr. has a rear wing going away.
Yeah, there, no doubt about it. The left side of Sam Hornish's wing is tilted down. I mean, you can see it's not even. He's slowing down right now, but there's no doubt that the rear wing of Hornish's car is in jeopardy as well.
Yeah, so we're watching Sam Hornish Jr. as he makes his way around the track. Tony Kanaan, though, really pulling away, and here comes Sam Hornish Jr. So Sam Hornish Jr. will pull off the track with 220 laps complete. He is off. TK, the leader, Mark Janes, he's heading to 3.
No question, last time by, there was something wrong with that rear wing of the car of Sam Hornish Jr. It was not on the car straight. And boy, is Team Penske going to be scratching its head over this event, how it has unfolded here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Kevin Lee, did they get anything done to that wing as they tried to get him out before he lost?
No, they were looking at the rear wing, and before they had really assessed it, Sam sped away, and the crew guys looked a little bit perplexed. Sam's thinking like, probably, I'm just going to limp around, though, for these final few laps and score some points.
It looked like Team Penske had an opportunity to go 1-3 here today at the the Milwaukee Mile. In fact, now they'll be lucky to finish with a single car in the top 10. Andretti Green Racing, though, Mark James, 222 laps complete. They run 1-2 with TK and Franchitti out in front.
Well, 1 and then maybe 2 minus a little bit more. I'll tell you what, second place is a ways behind Tony Kanaan. That's the 27 car of Dario Franchitti. TK almost can't see anyone in his rearview mirror. He's so comfortable, Mike.
223 laps are complete for Tony Kanaan. He is working on a 2.7 second lead over his best friend and teammate Dario Franchitti. Dan Weldon's got no shot. He is third, 4 seconds back. Dixon is fourth. Vitor Mira is fifth. They're going to come to the white flag this time. Tony Kanaan out in front. He'll take the white flag. 224 complete as he is already into turn number 2, Mark James, and heading your way for the final time.
As happy as he was for his teammate and close friend Dario Franchitti, you know the loss at Indy stuck in his craw. But boy, victory will be sweet for Tony Kanaan, just a couple of turns away from the win.
Oh, how strange racing can be. He had the best car at Indy but didn't win it today. He didn't have the best car, but he will win for the second year in a row at the Milwaukee Mile. Tony Kanaan will drive in the victory lane for the second straight year. Dario Franchitti winds up second. Dan Weldon is third. Scott Dixon is fourth, and Vitor Mira is fifth. Scott Sharp, Ed Carpenter, Danica Patrick, Sam Hornish Jr., and Jeff Simmons round out the top 10. What a day it turns out to be for TK and Dario Franchitti.
Word from officials will go green this time by, so it's Scott Sharp leading Ryan Hunter-Reay, Tony Kanaan, Kosuke Matsuura, Danica Patrick, Marco Andretti, Buddy Rice. That's the 7 cars on the lead lap. AJ Foyt the 4th, and Scott Dixon back out on the track. And here we go. Looking on the high side, 3 wide. There goes Marco. Underneath, it's Kosuke. 4 wide. Look out, guys.
Almost like they didn't even remember what just happened, which caused this last yellow, Marty. That's like a race driver. Just close the book on what happened before and let's go racing.
Marco said, give me the fuel, I'll get you the track position back. Right now, he's got the race lead. The veteran Scott Sharp is right there in second place. Tony Kanaan in third, and oh no, we're getting word from race officials that Marco Andretti jumped the restart, and he's going to be penalized. At the stripe, it is now Sharp that takes the lead. Then it is Kanaan with Danica Patrick on the high side.
Be interesting to see if they just let Marco fall back behind the pack. Remember, he was at the tail end, or is he going to have to come in for a drive-through penalty? We're getting word now that all he had to do was fall back behind the cars that he passed, which he did, and now they're allowing him to move forward.
So now with 10 laps to go, it is a 2-car shootout at this point. The other 2, Sharp and Matsuura, have fallen back. Now on the right, Danica, we had a chance to eavesdrop on the radio when she realized her chances to win had just vanished. The nightmare of my life. Well, at least her professional life. Well, Jack, you've got more on the race lead.
Well, keep in mind that this is the tutor and the student. Remember, Marco Andretti moved from Nazareth, Pennsylvania to Miami, Florida to, and I quote, be closer to Tony Kanaan. They are workout buddies. Tony Kanaan has tutored the young Andretti, tried to convince him even from Homestead when Marco pulled an ill-handling car onto pit road, tried to teach him that sometimes you have to just continue to work and work and work. And now it looks, guys, like it's going to come down to the teacher and the student.
I thought for a second Jack was going to say the tutor and the 2T. All right, take a look. There he comes. The green light may have been given. 8 laps to go between these two. They've got plenty of a gap between them and third place Scott Sharp and fourth place Kosuke Matsuura. Down the backstretch, Marco looks to the high side. Kanaan's got the preferred low line. They're going to go side by side, coming through 3 and 4. Tony pulls back ahead. Marco tucks in.
And you know that's exactly what Tony is going to do for the remaining 8 laps. He's continued to be on the low side, so we now go down to 7 laps to go. He's going to leave just enough room to let Marco think that he can get through on the inside, and then he'll close the door on him. All legal, and it's really great sportsmanship. if you count the fact that he's probably driving looking in his mirrors most of the time.
Marco again looks to the high side. Into 3 and 4. Can't get it done again. This time by, there'll be 6 laps to go. Marco again going to try the high side.
Gets a draft off the car, going down through the front stretch, through the D oval, and then tries to carry the momentum when he does the slingshot on the outside.
He looks better in 1 and 2 than he does in 3 and 4.
And Tony starts to move him up the road just a little bit. Marco had to respond, otherwise they would have touched. Now what Marco's trying to do is to continue to keep Tony on the low side when he can, right down by the white line through the turns, and maybe he has to lift off the gas because he's going to end up coming up the track and maybe getting into Marco. Marco's goal is to get beside him all the way around, then start to push him down towards the white line, which makes him scrub off more speed.
5 laps to go. You saw for a brief moment the battle continues between Sharp and Matsuura. Sharp stays in 3rd. Marco falls back a little bit. This time by, there'll be 4 laps to go. And again, he seems to have better grip going through turns 1 and 2 than he does in 3 and 4.
And when all this has been going on, Sam Hornish, as we saw, went back out and just started to circulate and made laps and did a couple more laps than Scott Dixon. So Sam Hornish takes over the 9th spot for points gaining here this weekend, and Dixon is now moved from 9th to 10th.
Down the back stretch, and all of a sudden the 3rd car comes into view there with Koski Matsuura. That looked like Danica Patrick, as she is down a full lap, so not a factor in that battle for 3rd. Meanwhile, take a look as we get 3 laps to go this time by. Does Marco have anything left for Tony Kanaan?
As you mentioned, 1 and 2 is where he looks the best. He keeps trying to put his left front wheel right by the right rear of Tony Kanaan, trying to force Tony down. Looks like this time he was able to do that.
Can he hold on to it going into 3? He's got a bit of a nose out in front, but here comes Tony right back into 3. And Marco falls right back again.
Oh, and Michael, you saw him. He's riding along inside the cockpit with Marco right now.
This time by, 2 laps remaining. Is it going to be the teacher or is it going to be the student that takes the win? It looks certain, short of another disaster, that Andretti Green will finish 1-2.
And you have to like Tony Kanaan's chances only from the fact that, as you mentioned, he's stronger in 3 and 4, getting that drive through 3 and 4 towards the stripe, right down the front stretch.
Through 3 and 4 again, Tony just able to hug the white line. Marco can do nothing. He won't open the door for him to get underneath. White flag, 1 lap to go at Michigan. A day that started, well, 7 hours and 40 minutes ago is finally going to come to conclusion. Who's going to win it? Will it be the 32-year-old Tony Kanaan from Brazil, or will it be the 20-year-old from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, Marco Andretti? Down the backstretch, they're wheel to wheel, going into 3. Here comes Kanaan, just like before, able to close the door and take it through 4. Coming to the stretch, it will be Tony Kanaan in front with his 3rd win this season and 10th of his career, and Marco Andretti right behind.
A.J. Foyt IV looking for his first IndyCar Series win.
Obviously not very experienced on restarts in terms of restarting the field up front. He has Darren Manning behind him. TK looks like he's going to get a run at 4.
So here comes A.J. Foyt IV. TK will move to the outside of Darren Manning. Manning will give way to the inside as Scott Dixon comes along. A.J. Foyt IV has got a pretty good restart here, Mark James, as we've got 190 laps complete, less than 10 remain.
Scott Dixon backs some cars up behind him as he tried to grab that 3rd spot. Kanaan to the high side of A.J. Foyt IV. Look like they're going to try to go side by side in 4.
They'll do just that as they enter turn number 4, side by side. A.J. on the inside. Here comes Kanaan on the outside. Kanaan, it looks like, is going to make the pass. He'll do it at the line. 191 laps complete. Mark James, TK is back out in front.
Tony Kanaan pedaling for all that's worth. Clears A.J. Foyt IV and starts to set sail down the back straightaway. Dixon with some nice momentum at the exit of 2. Marco running side by side with him. They go Castroneves. They have Thomas Scheckter in tow at the setup of 4.
Points leader Dario Franchitti currently shown in 8th place. Will he be able to make up any ground? Tony Kanaan is out in front. Here comes Dixon. Dixon will move to the outside of Foyt. They're in turn number 2.
Dixon trying to pedal a little harder, get to the high side of A.J. Foyt in the 4th. Can't clear him yet. Meanwhile, Tony Kanaan continues to pull away. A.J. washes up a little bit. Dixon slips underneath him. They'll go side by side in 3.
So Dixon grabs the inside line. A.J. on the outside. Foyt will fall in behind Dixon as he goes to 3rd. Marco Andretti runs 4th. Here comes Thomas Scheckter. He's in 5th. They're already making their way to turn number 2.
Dixon may have some company in that battle for 2nd. That may be all that's left to race for because Tony Kanaan has about a quarter of a straightaway advantage. A.J. Foyt in the 4th. Marco Andretti. Thomas Scheckter. Nose to tail with Scott Dixon in turn 4.
They'll come across the line, completing 194 of 200 laps. Tony Kanaan, Dave Wilson, he is going to shave more points off of Dario Franchitti's lead as we get set to head to the 15th race. And now, well, do we have a yellow? No, we do not have a yellow flag as we are watching out on track. But Dave Wilson, he will shave more points unless something happens in these final 5. TK will still have a shot with 3 to go.
He has already wrapped up the 3 bonus points for leading the most laps here today. If you win the race and you score the most points, that's 53 points. 8th place only plays 24, so he would basically give up the lead if this thing stay the way they are right now.
Tony Kanaan out in front. 195 laps are complete. He took the lead from A.J. Foyt the 4th after the final restart. Scott Dixon runs 2nd. A.J. Foyt the 4th is 3rd, trying to hold on for his best career finish in IndyCar Series competition. Marco Andretti is 4th. Thomas Scheckter is 5th. Mark James is the leaders. Head to turn number 2.
Tony Kanaan, easily the class of the field here at Kentucky Speedway. Just a handful of laps to get back to victory lane and really throw the points championship into a mess. Scott Dixon with a firm grasp on 2nd. The 22 machine of A.J. Foyt in the 4th, trying to get on the podium for the first time in his IndyCar Series career.
Dario Franchitti continues to lose momentum on the track. Scott Dixon, will he take over the points lead here tonight as he runs 2nd? He runs behind Tony Kanaan by 1.3 seconds. Dario Franchitti is shown in 8th place. 197, soon to be 198 laps complete. Will we have a new points leader headed to Infineon Raceway, Sonoma, California? Across the line, 198 of 200 now on the board. TK looking for his 4th win, Mark James of 2007.
That race car has been fast all night long, and he has been hugging the white line all night long. About the only time he washes up at all is at the exit at turn number 2. Tony Kanaan headed for victory lane at about a lap and a half.
The white flag will be shown to Tony Kanaan. The winner last weekend at Michigan International Speedway said he left feeling a little empty, like maybe he didn't deserve it. Mark James, he's going to deserve this one here tonight. That 7-Eleven car has been hooked up, and he's on his way to win number 4.
Strange twist over the last 30-some-odd laps, but the dust has settled when the smoke is cleared. It belongs to the 7-Eleven machine of Tony Kanaan. Take him home, Mike King.
Tony Kanaan is on a roll at the right time. He's going to come across the line, and he will win for the 2nd straight week for the 4th time this year. Scott Dixon is 2nd. A.J. Foyt the 4th is 3rd. Marco Andretti is 4th, and Thomas Scheckter is 5th.
Happy birthday.
Off of turn number 14 through the kink here on the front straight. Tony Kanaan and the Team 7-Eleven car is still out in front. If you're Dario Franchitti, Brian Herta, do you take any chances at this point to do whatever you can to get past Scott Dixon, or do you simply settle in if you don't see some kind of reasonable opening?
I don't think he can afford to make a mistake, so I don't think he can. His team will be talking to him on the radio. They'll be telling him, look, you're going to score the same points as Dixon if nothing changes. So I don't look for Dario to do anything crazy unless Dixon somehow leaves the door open for him, and Scott's not going to do that.
So once again, the 3 bonus points would go to Dario Franchitti and Dave Wilson. Once again, how huge are those bonus points? It will mean essentially for these 2 guys going to Chicagoland that it becomes a wash, and there will still be 4 points separating 1st and 2nd place.
Yeah, and he did it just by 1 lap. Elio led 26. He led 27 laps.
Wow.
So he's only, it's just by the hair on his
His chinny chin chin?
Chinny chin chin. That's what I was trying to think there.
Tony Kanaan is out in front. Buddy Rice runs second. Scott Dixon is third. Dario Franchitti is fourth. 1.6 seconds on this 2.1-mile road course. That is all that separates the lead 4 cars. So we're keeping our eye on the leaders. Dario Franchitti desperately trying to chase down Scott Dixon, but as Brian Herta just said, hey, why try something? Why try to make a move when the opening's not there? This way you could go to Chicagoland Speedway feeling good about what you did here today, and you don't lose any ground at all. So Mark Janes, we're closing in now on the final laps of this race. Just about 7 laps, or rather 7 minutes of racing remain. That's probably about 4 or 5 laps or so. We'll keep an eye on it. The leaders pass in front of you.
Tony Kanaan talked to the pre-race show about having guys up front with nothing to lose. One of them is the 15 car of Buddy Rice. Kevin Lee, it's been a while since he's been to victory lane. He'd like to get back there. He's going to stay on, TK.
His only 3 wins coming in that magical run in 2004 when Buddy Rice won the 500, finished 3rd in the championship. This has been a great run today and a great boost for Dreyer and Reinbold. Buddy Rice is chasing Tony Kanaan.
Everybody seems to be content with finishing in the order that they are running right now, at least Dixon and Franchitti. But you can just tell as they come through this area of the racetrack that Buddy Rice knows that he is just a mistake away by Tony Kanaan of winning here at Belle Isle.
Nobody's showing any inclination of trying to get a little scurry and get out of line right here. The front 4 stays as is. Tony Kanaan will pull him through turn 14.
Tony Kanaan, it looks like he is going to pick up his 5th win of the season. He will take the lead, and in fact, Dave Wilson, what a season this guy has had. Save for a couple of DNFs, Tony Kanaan's probably the champion this year in 2007.
Yeah, I mean, again, great wins in Japan and in Milwaukee and in Michigan and Kentucky. I mean, the guys just had a heck of a year, only 2 DNFs. But, you know, you look at Buddy Rice, we're talking about Dreyer and Reinbold. That team came into existence in 2000, and Robbie Buell won the very first race they ever raced as a team at Walt Disney World. So it'd be great to see Buddy get that team the 2nd victory.
Going to be very interested in hearing the comments from Dreyer and Reinbold Racing Team owner Dennis Reinbold, as we'll get someone there to talk to him. I wanted to tell you to attention to your downforce members. The code word for today's Detroit Indy Grand Prix is victory, and it looks like that could belong to Tony Kanaan. Go to your downforce homepage, click on the earn points section, enter the secret word under the radio portion. You'll receive 200 points. Again, the code word is victory. And thanks to all of you downforce members for listening to live IndyCar Series coverage right here on the IMS Radio Network. Don't forget, next Sunday afternoon, September the 9th, the peak antifreeze Indy 300 from Chicagoland Speedway. Our pre-race show comes your way on your favorite IMS Radio Network station, IndyCar.com, XM IndyCar 145 and XM Sports Nation XM 144, starting at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Just under 4 minutes of race time remains. And Tony Kanaan is now, Mark Janes, just 3 laps away from his 5th win of the season. The leaders head towards you.
They come into our review, setting up for turn number 5 and 6. Tony Kanaan leads the way. It shrinks down to about a half a car length as they make their way through the turns, but he's very strong off the corners, Kevin, and that's where he's been able to maintain his advantage.
Last time by, there was a big wiggle coming out of 6 for Dario Franchitti, but he did not lose any momentum. The front 4 still equidistant. Danica Patrick has been about 20-25 car lengths back, running in 5th, and then A.J. Foyt the 4th, Dan Weldon, and Darren Manning now pass by through turn 7.
No wiggling through here as everybody comes through in good shape. Top 4 cars still right together on the racetrack. Then Danica Patrick, she's having a great race. Then A.J. Foyt the 4th. He is looking very, very good as far as a finishing position. Kanaan off corner 12.
Nobody has made a pass in turn 13 today, and right now that front 4 appears to be very content to be where they are. They'll stay single file. Tony Kanaan will pull them through that 14th turn and head toward the home.
Brian Herta, I'm curious, if someone had told you that a driver would win 5 races this year and only have 2 DNFs and not be the champion, would you believe it?
I believe it now. I'm not sure if I would have then. But, you know, that's what's happened to Tony. Now, I'm watching here, and, you know, Buddy Rice was looking really racy a couple laps ago. There was a lot of fight left in him. It looks now like maybe he's kind of settled in and realized he hasn't got anything for Tony, and maybe he's saying, I need to bring this home in 2nd.
Tony Kanaan is out in front. Last lap, a minute 16.3224, well off the fast lap that we saw about 20 laps earlier, set by Dario Franchitti. Buddy Rice runs 2nd. Scott Dixon is 3rd. Dario Franchitti is 4th. Rest of the top 10, Danica Patrick is 5th. A.J. Foyt the 4th is 6th. Then Dan Weldon, Darren Manning, Koski Matsura, and Ed Carpenter, your top 10. Look like Scott Dixon maybe wanted to give it a little look. We've got 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining here, Bob Jenkins, as the cars are in the interloop.
And Buddy Rice is dropping back from Tony Kanaan and allowing Scott Dixon to pull right up on the rear wing. And by the same token, Franchitti is right behind that car.
Oh man, Dixon jumped out of line and looked inside and went with him, Franchitti, but they're going to fall right back in line. That's the biggest move we've seen so far. Mike?
Brian Hurt, it looked like Dario wanted to make the move, but he thought of it the same time Scott Dixon did. We could see a move on these final laps.
Well, we still could. You know, we saw a big run there off of turn 13 for Dario. That's the place I said we might see a pass, and maybe we still will here.
Mark Janes, the leaders head to you. It looks like we'll run one more lap. It looks like we'll run 89 laps here this afternoon. Leaders in front of you.
Kanaan, plenty of breathing room. Buddy Rice has fallen off the pace just a little bit. Yeah, Dario made a move down there at the other end of the racetrack around turn 13, and Dixon went to the same spot at the same time. Both lifted and decided to be a little smart in the closing stages here of this fabulous event here in Detroit.
Through all of this, Danica Patrick has made up some ground, but she's not going to have enough time to catch up to that front pack of four. Kanaan has stretched it out a little bit. Dixon, last time by, take a little look for Buddy Rice in second. We might still see something happening in this final lap or so.
Oh man, Scott Dixon and Tony Kanaan are just so close. They tried to go around Buddy Rice, and that kind of dropped them back a little bit, but then they are very, very close. Scott Dixon and Dario Franchitti in the battle for third.
Oh man, that third place battle is really something. Now Dixon takes a look to the inside. Dixon, wheel to wheel, they touch and into the wall. They're going to be Buddy Rice.
He spun!
And now the 9 car of Dixon spins. Franchitti runs into him. 3 cars out in the 13 and 14 area. So we have 3 cars right down in front of me. The 15 car of Buddy Rice. I can literally talk to him from here. About 100 yards down the way, Dixon and Franchitti sit side by side out of this race.
Unbelievable. For the second week in a row, we're going to have an incident that is going to completely change the way the championship is lined up. Tony Kanaan is not only going to win the race, but Mark Janes, Danica Patrick will finish behind him. 3 of the top 4 cars wind up crashed here, Mark, on the final lap of the race.
And the fans in front of us, you wouldn't know Tony Kanaan was going to win this race. When Danica Patrick drove by, the crowd went absolutely bonkers and pumping their fists for Danica Patrick. The leader of the race is coming into the view of Bob Jenkins pretty soon. Bob?
Unbelievable, not in my viewpoint yet, but the fans here up in the grandstand are anticipating his arrival at any moment. Now here he comes through corner number 8 with Danica Patrick right behind him. The crowd salutes. Dan Weldon comes off the corner in 3rd position. What an incredible end to an incredible race.
Well, I'm still looking down right in front of me, the 15 machine of Buddy Rice. He's kind of looked up at me a couple of times. He's thrown his hands up in the air. He's pounded the steering wheel. He is the most disgusted man in the race course because, as you guys were talking about, Dreyer Reinbold is having a terrific day. Meanwhile, here comes Tony Kanaan. It's been a terrific 3 days here at this racetrack. Mike King is going to finish under yellow. That should not distract from what's been a terrific event.
A most incredible end to a most incredible weekend. 3 of the top 4 runners crash on the next to last lap of this race, as we now see Tony Kanaan behind the pace car with Danica Patrick running behind him. Here comes Dan Weldon, and here they come, the top 3. Kanaan is your winner. Patrick is second. Dan Weldon is third.
Make it about 3 car lengths back as Kanaan goes to the inside. Tries to go side by side and does with Hunter Ray.
Side by side across the yard of bricks. Tony Kanaan on the inside will nose in front of Ryan Hunter-Reay with 192 laps complete. TK is back out in front of the Speedway.
Eddie Sachs, Lloyd Ruby, Rex Mays. Who's the hard luck guy of your generation? Right now for this one, it's Tony Kanaan, and that's why he's got the fans at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway cheering him on.
No one's sitting down. Everyone's up on their feet, watching Ryan Hunter-Reay, Tony Kanaan, and Carlos Munoz separate themselves a bit. They go 1, 2, 3 to the north end.
It is Kanaan by a couple of car lengths down along the white line out of 4. Hunter-Reay tries to set him up, and he is right behind him side by side now.
Davey Hamilton, here they come once again. Ryan Hunter-Reay will take the lead, and Davey, if you're the lead car, what are you thinking at this point? You got to be running second. coming to lap 199.
You need to be, every time somebody's in second place coming off fourth, they're leading it at the start-finish line. And I tell you what, Ryan Hunter-Reay and Tony Kanaan both know that, so they both want to be in that position coming off that last corner for the last time.
Working lap 194. The leaders head to Mark James in turn number 3.
Oh, got a yellow.
Munoz now. We've got a big crash right in front of Jake Query at the exit of turn 2. The car now slides halfway down the back straightaway. It is the car of Graham Rahal. Rahal came high off of turn number 2, slapped the outside retaining wall, and slid to a stop in the grass to the inside retaining wall halfway down the back straightaway. Graham Rahal's done at Indianapolis with 7 laps to go. Ryan Hunter-Reay is going through the gearbox.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay is off and running. He's got Kanaan behind him on the inside as Marco Andretti trying to make a move from 4th.
197 laps complete at the line. 3 wide. Munoz on the outside. Kanaan on the inside. Who will make the pass? Stick. It's going to be Kanaan. Jake Query, TK out in front on lap 197 at the Speedway.
Kanaan was going all or nothing and restart, and he gets there's a yellow, and it's because of one of the target cars on the south end of the track. Can't tell yet whether it's Scott Dixon or Dario Franchitti, but either way, a car against the south end of the track, and that may mean that Tony Kanaan may have broken through and won at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh my.
We'll have to wait and see.
Oh my goodness, Tony Kanaan and Carlos Munoz, they split Ryan Hunter-Reay going into turn number 1. It was an incredible move. And look at TK, Davey. He's already in turn number 1. The pace car, if it's going to catch him, he's going to have to catch him quick because TK wants this race over with.
Lap 198, it's over. Next time by, it'd be the white flag, and then that's it. So
Unbelievable.
This, Tony Kanaan is gonna bust it. But how about that rookie though?
Yeah, they're trying to get Johnny Rutherford in front of TK to slow him down. Nick Yeoman, Tony Kanaan doing everything he can right now to race the pace car and complete as many laps as possible.
And Mike, just about everybody on the main front stretch here in the grandstands rose to their feet. High fives for everybody down here in this pit stall. We're waiting to see Tony Kanaan come around. Of course, nobody wants to talk until this thing is official, but Kanaan looks like he is well on his way to finally sipping the milk.
My goodness. Well, of course, 1 year ago, it was Dario Franchitti who coasted across the line, taking the twin checkers for the 3rd time after Takuma Sato tried to make the pass on lap number 200 and turn number 1. Sato did not drive out of it, and Dario did. Well, this year, a year later, Dario Franchitti is sitting in his crumpled race car. Davey Hamilton, TK is going to come to the line. He's going to see the white and the yellow, and Tony Kanaan is going to win the Indianapolis 500.
He's got to win. You know what? He wants to win it as the race went on, you know, but you know what? It's a race, no matter what. He got the white flag, 1 more lap to check.
It will be Jake Query, one of the most popular wins that we have seen in many years here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tony Kanaan is going to win the 500-mile race.
Dario Franchitti has gotten out of his car. Dario Franchitti, if you were to ask him, would tell you that his greatest friend in this race, without question, is the man who right now sits behind the pace car negotiating turn number 2. Both hands still on the wheel on that hydroxy-cut machine, but the hands of everyone inside this oval and on the outside of it in the air right now. Mark, that's because Dario Franchitti just watched his good friend go past. He's a half a lap away under caution from winning the Indy 500, Mark. What a popular one it will be.
2004 Series champion, completed every lap in an unbelievable season. 261 starts, 107 top 5s, 168 top 10s. He's led over 3,200 laps, including over 200 in Indianapolis. Chris Denari, he's going to fill that glaring hole in his resume.
His countryman and friend Elio Castroneves has won this race 3 times. The first one is always the sweetest. He's behind the pace car in turn 4, Mike King. Here comes Tony Kanaan.
TK has wanted this race oh so bad. The crowd will come to its feet and will salute the man from Brazil who will finally fulfill his dream. For Tony Kanaan, the 12th time is the charm at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Twin Checkers way. TK has won the 2013 500.
And Kanaan will be winning his first race of the year
And what a surprise and great finish to the season that'll be for him. I mean, I'm sure you'll see tears of joy out of Kanaan if he gets this win tonight.
Oh, it's been such a source of frustration for TK to be so close.
Got a nice cushion. He's got 3 lapped cars between him and a 3-second gap. So with 4 laps to go now, he virtually almost have to come to a stop. As long as he continues to just stay at this speed, there's no way now that Dixon can catch him.
And you know what, so many times Tony Kanaan has said this year, you know what, if I can't get the pole position, I want my teammate Scott Dixon to get it. If I can't win the race, I want my teammate Scott Dixon to win. I'm not sure if Dixie was close enough to challenge him. Dixie wouldn't just hang back a little bit and let TK get it. It's been a great bonding exercise as teammates this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he had as close a relationship as with the guys, some of the guys at Andretti, as he does with Dario and Dixon. I think those guys are really, really tight. They're real close. So, you know, those guys are like brothers. And I think he's really found a great spot here to finish out his career.
You know, Tony Kanaan told me at Milwaukee, I asked him, I said, what's been the biggest impact Dario's had on Tony's performance here at Ganassi? And TK told me, he said, Dario tells me when to shut up.
He never told me that.
Less than 2 laps to go, and we're going to see an 11th different winner in the 2014 Verizon IndyCar Series. Quite an extraordinary season of racing.
As it comes up to lap board A.
In his old car.
White flag, so.
And 1 lap to go, guys. 249 laps in the books, and we haven't had a single failure that I'm aware of. We still have 20 cars running, I believe, with Pagano. Not a single reliability issue. Amazing.
Yep, that whole attrition, the old attrition rate story that we were talking about, and reliability. But we got 2 different winners here on 2 very different scales. We've got a race winner and we've got a championship winner that will be decided in less than half a lap. Tony Kanaan knows what it's like to win a championship. Tony Kanaan wins the MAV TV 500 to be the 11th different winner.